Known for its hot cube session, maple syrup, and some of the world's most famous celebrities, Canada is the second largest country in the world and one of the world's most sparsely populated countries. There's so much to see in Canada that I could make videos on places to see in each individual province. Canada is notorious for its outdoor activities and its natural scenery, as well as its well-ranked healthcare system and popular culture. You may have clicked on this video wondering where are the best places to visit in Canada, and you have come to the right place. My name is Cameron and welcome to Around the World with Cameron, and I will be counting down my list of the top 10 cities and towns to visit in Canada. Now, before we get started, you should know that all of Canada is put into consideration on this list, including its 3 territories. I'm only saying this because I've seen lists ranking places in Canada that only stay within its 10 provinces and completely ignore the 3 territories. Well, on this channel, everyone gets included and considered for my list, no matter how bitterly cold or sparsely populated they may be. I have also compiled this list based on the combination of my personal picks and travel statistics. So in terms of saying one city is better than the other, kindly take that as my opinion based on my own interests and statistics I found, not actual fact. Kindly make your own list based on the picks I chose. But anyways, let's get started. Number 10. Whistler, British Columbia. Located just north of Vancouver, Whistler is a popular ski resort town in British Columbia. While the population of the town is about 14,000 as of 2021, Whistler gets about 2 million visitors every year. People from all over Canada and even the United States travel to Whistler for a vacation. Now, its large reason for all this tourism is its outdoor activities. Whistler is notorious for its skiing and snowboarding as well as its mountain biking. Whistler exists in the Coast Mountains, so pretty much all of the mountain resorts are here, and many more to come as the town grows. So if you're really into nature, winter sports, mountains, and places that don't give out big city vibes, Whistler may just be the place for you. Number 9. Victoria, British Columbia. Staying in British Columbia, we have Victoria, the capital of British Columbia. Located on the southern tip of British Columbia, Victoria is known for having some of the best gardens in the country, and with its often rainy atmosphere, it makes sense why such beautiful gardens can grow here. Victoria is also known for its stunning traditional architecture that gives the city a very old-fashioned look. So if you're really into gardens and historic places, Victoria may be something you definitely want to add to your bucket list. Number 8. Whitehorse, Yukon Territory. Yes, you heard me right, I put a city from one of the Canadian territories on this list. And if you look at Whitehorse, can you really blame me? Even though the town has a population of about 28,000 people, there's still a lot to do here, especially in terms of exploring the local natural sceneries. There are tons of preserved nature spaces and natural landmarks in Whitehorse to explore, such as the Yukon Wildlife Preserve and Miles Canyon. Also, Whitehorse is far enough north to witness the Aurora Borealis, also known as the Northern Lights. Now, this is really only visible from late August to mid-April, so if you really want to witness the Northern Lights, I would schedule your trip to Whitehorse during that time. And if you really want to see nature and wildlife of the Yukon Territory, you can visit anytime. Number 7. Toronto, Ontario. Known for being the largest city in Canada, Toronto has a lot to offer for tourists, especially in the arts and pop culture, as well as in sports such as hockey. It's also a very culturally diverse city, filled with many people from all kinds of different backgrounds. Much of the Canadian English language pop culture is centered here. There are tons to do here and tons of the city to explore. One of the most visited attractions in Toronto is the CN Tower, which is the telecommunications center of Toronto. And if you're visiting Toronto to explore Canadian nature, Toronto may not be the place for you. Toronto is a big city, and by Canadian statistics, it's the largest in the country. Now, sure, Toronto has its beautiful parks and gardens every now and then, but there isn't much to offer in Toronto if you want to view all of the nature. Now, Toronto does have Rouge National Urban Park, which is located sort of in the outskirts of the city by the Toronto Zoo, but that's pretty much the largest organized nature space you're gonna find that's safe for tourists. But if you're a big city person and just love visiting urban areas, Toronto is a valid option for you. Number 6. Montreal, Quebec. Heading out to the French side of Canada, we have Montreal, actually pronounced as Montréal in French. Montreal is the largest city in the Quebec province and acts as the center of Canadian French culture, similar to Toronto with Canadian English culture. Now, unlike many other areas of Canada where learning French may be useful but not essential, in Montreal or pretty much anywhere in Quebec, learning French is absolutely essential. The locals of Montreal and pretty much all of the Quebecois are very proud of their French culture and heritage, and will speak French proudly. Plus, with Montreal being known as, quote, the Paris of North America, you just know how proud these people are of their French-inclined culture. But why visit Montreal? Well, Montreal as a city is widely known for its fantastic architecture, as well as its thriving cultural community, bustling nightlife, and great places to eat. The city is also steeped in French colonial history, so if that all appeals to you, I would definitely look at brushing up on your French and taking a look at Montreal. Number 5. Halifax, Nova Scotia. Going to the very further southeast part of Canada, Halifax is known for its picturesque beauty and its stunning Atlantic coastline. Before it was incorporated as a city, it was the center of England's wool manufacturing from the 15th century until Canada gained independence in 1867. Today, many people visit Halifax for its historic charm and vibrant community. Halifax is also known for its wide variety of seafood cuisines. So if you're a fan of seafood, cultural cities with a lot of colonial history, and quaint social communities, Halifax may just be the city to visit. Number 4. Banff, Alberta. Yet another relatively small town on this list with a population of about 8,000, Banff has proven itself to be one of the best and most widely visited towns in Canada. Why are people visiting Banff? Well, to put in the words from the blog Rocky Mountaineer, the town was designed to be a traveler's dream destination. And who could blame the people that visit, as Banff is surrounded by gorgeous mountains, as well as being ranked as one of the best towns to visit in the Rocky Mountains. So if you're ever thinking about traveling to the Rocky Mountains, Banff is a great town to look at. Number 3. Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. While known to Canadians historically as the start of their whole country with the Canadian Confederation, Charlottetown is one of the most quaint cities to visit on this list. Not only does Charlottetown feel like you're taking a step back in time to the Victorian era with many of its historical buildings, it's also known for its vibrant festivals and picturesque natural sceneries, especially in the springtime. And if you're into Canadian history, Charlottetown should definitely be at least near the top of your list when looking for places to travel. One historic place you can visit in Charlottetown is the Confederation Center of the Arts, which is not only a major performing arts theater within the city, but it's also the center of many of the city's festivals, as well as an homage to the cultural and artistic environment of the city. Number 2. Quebec City, Quebec. While a smaller city than Montreal, Quebec City has a lot more to offer in French colonial history and culture, as well as more beautiful natural sceneries and its picturesque city streets. Quebec City is one of those cities where it doesn't matter what season you're visiting the city, it's still beautiful with either one. Personally, I would love to visit Quebec City during the autumn and winter time, but there are a lot of people who love to visit the city during the spring and summertime. During the spring, Quebec City's flowers just bloom from the ground and the gardens are picturesque, and they stay this way during the summertime. In the autumn, the city's autumn leaves among the historic cobblestone streets make for great street pictures. And with the vast amount of snow Quebec City gets every year, you'll see where I'm going when I say these streets are still incredibly picturesque during winter. It's a city that feels like France without actually being in France, hence why it's number 2 on this list. Alright, before we get to number 1, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to this channel and ring the bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. And I also wanted to give 2 honorable mentions as I also recommend these cities. Ottawa, Ontario, for being the capital city of Canada and for being a great melting pot for the English language and French language cultures in Canada. And Calgary, Alberta, for being the largest city in Alberta, its amazing mountainous nature nearby, and for being home to one of the largest urban bike path networks in North America. If you're a biker, of course. Alright, on to number 1. Number 1, Vancouver, British Columbia. Now, I hear nothing but good things about Vancouver. It's the largest city in British Columbia and is famous for the artistic environment, especially with Hollywood filming a lot of their scenes here and Hallmark movies. I remember when my great-grandmother visited Vancouver while on a cruise in that area. She actually told me I would really love the city as she really loved the city, and went as far as to give me her blessing if I ever decided to move to Canada at some point, which I'm not even sure if I want to do that, but that was nice of her. But anyways, other than being famous for its more artistic side, Vancouver is also famous for its natural scenery. Vancouver is a city where you have great big mountains on one side and a beautiful Pacific coastline on the other. And if you like rain, which I actually do, at least drizzly rain, not the pouring rain, Vancouver gets a lot of rain. I mean, it's close to Seattle, so what did you expect? Although what makes Vancouver and pretty much the entire southwest British Columbia area, including Victoria like I mentioned earlier, unique from the rest of Canada, is that they don't get nearly as much snow as the rest of the country does. Now, for the record, they do get snow. Vancouver has had some pretty bad snowstorms in the past, especially recently, but statistically speaking, Vancouver gets very little snow compared to the other cities in Canada. Same with Victoria. Much of the wintertime is cold and rainy, which I admit it's a pain to deal with. But at least you won't have to constantly deal with having to shovel snow off of your car and your driveway to go anywhere. And with Vancouver's milder temperatures, you don't have to worry about freezing as much. And that is it for the top 10 cities and towns to visit in Canada. Did you agree with this list? Let me know in the comments below. Was there a good city in Canada that I missed? Let me know in the comments below. And also, just comment anyway. I love hearing feedback from you guys on these videos. And be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to this channel and ring the bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. And if you'd like to check out the video YouTube is recommending as the best for you, be sure to click the video on the right side of the screen and give it a watch. This is Cameron, and thanks for watching.